Many believers live with a quiet sense of curiosity about their purpose. They love God. They attend church. They try to live faithfully. Yet something feels unfinished. It's not rebellion. It's not lack of faith. It's the sense that Christianity was never meant to be only about attendance or belief, but about participation. As the scripture makes something very clear, God does not merely save people, He assigns them. Every believer is brought into the kingdom with intention, design, and responsibility. And that responsibility is directly connected to spiritual gifts. This teaching is not about spiritual hype or self-importance. It's about stewardship. It's about understanding what God has already placed within you and learning how to walk in alignment with it. Christian faith was never designed to be passive. From Genesis to Revelation, God consistently works through people, flawed, ordinary people, who are equipped for specific purposes. Abraham was called to build a nation. Moses was called to confront systems of oppression. Esther was positioned for influence at a critical moment. The early church was equipped with gifts, not titles. None of them chose their assignment. They responded to it. One of the most limiting misunderstandings in modern Christianity is the idea that calling is reserved for pastors, missionaries, or leaders on a stage. In reality, Scripture teaches that every believer is called, and calling is expressed through gifting. If you belong to Christ, you have a role in His work. The question is not whether you have one, it's whether you've taken time to understand it. Spiritual gifts are not natural talents. Though God can work through talents, they are not personality traits, though personality can influence expression. And they are not rewards for spiritual maturity. Spiritual gifts are grace-enabled capacities given by God for the purpose of serving others and building His kingdom. This matters because gifts are not about self-expression. They're about service. A gift is not proven by how spiritual it feels, but by how effectively it blesses others. Some gifts are visible, some are quiet, some operate publicly, some operate behind the scenes, but none are unnecessary. One of the reasons many believers feel spiritually stagnant is because they are trying to grow spiritually without understanding how God designed them to function. God rarely reveals gifting through sudden announcements. More often, He reveals it through patterns. Patterns of compassion, patterns of effectiveness, patterns of burden. Pay attention to what consistently draws your attention. Pay attention to the kinds of problems you feel compelled to solve. Pay attention to where people naturally trust your input. These are not coincidences. Your spiritual DNA often reveals itself through repeated opportunities, consistent fruit, internal conviction rather than external pressure. Even resistance can be revealing. Sometimes the areas we avoid are the very areas where growth is required before gifting can mature. God is intentional. He does not scatter gifts randomly. He integrates them into the story of your life. One of the least discussed aspects of spiritual gifting is how often it is connected to personal struggle. Many people are drawn to healing because they have experienced brokenness. Many are gifted in encouragement because they know discouragement intimately. Many carry discernment because they've learned wisdom the hard way. This is not accidental. God redeems experience. He does not waste pain. He often transforms past difficulty into future ministry. Your story is not separate from your gifting. It is often the context that shapes it. Discovery is not the finish line. It is the beginning. Spiritual gifts grow through practice, accountability, teachability, faithful use over time. The idea that gifts activate automatically is not biblical. Scripture consistently connects gifting with stewardship. What God gives, He expects to be developed. This means learning. This means correction. This means patience. Many believers desire influence without preparation, but God prioritizes faithfulness over visibility. Growth happens when we say, "Lord, I'm willing to be shaped." Gifts without humility become dangerous. Scripture warns repeatedly that gifting does not equal maturity. Power without character leads to harm, both personally and communally. Humility keeps gifting aligned with love. It keeps service pure. It keeps purpose from becoming self-centered. True spiritual growth always increases awareness of dependence on God, not independence from Him. The more clearly you see your gifts, the more clearly you should see your need for grace. Your gifting does not exist in isolation. It fits into a larger framework, God's ongoing work in the world. This is why calling often unfolds gradually. God integrates timing, relationships, environment. Opportunity, purpose is rarely revealed all at once. More often, it becomes clear through obedience to the next step. You don't need to know the entire plan. You need to be faithful with what is already in your hands. Spiritual gifts are not reserved for future seasons. They are meant to operate now, in conversations, in workplaces, in families, in communities. Calling is not about location. It's about obedience. When gifts are used consistently, they sharpen. When they are ignored, they stagnate. Faithfulness today prepares clarity for tomorrow. Understanding spiritual gifts is not meant to inflate confidence. It is meant to clarify responsibility. You are not gifted for yourself alone. You are gifted for service. You are gifted for impact. You are gifted because God intends to work through you. The invitation is simple, but serious. Discover what God has given you. Develop it with humility. Deploy it with love. That is how purpose becomes lived reality. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.